Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gene's Reviews. Reviews from a regular dude, where I do trailer reactions, I react to YouTube videos, I review YouTube channels. Occasionally, I'll review a movie, but really, I just do whatever the hell I want. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gene's Reviews. Reviews from a regular dude. Here in my car. Okay, I've had some of my subscribers say that they like hearing stuff about me and my life because it helps you guys connect a little bit more with me about how I am and as a person and stuff like that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what sets me off. Like, when I was younger, I had a really bad temper, and I got that from my dad, and my dad got that from his dad. And I never got to the point where I'd like fight anyone or anything like that, but I would just freak out and lose control and hit inanimate objects and things like that. And my dad was the same way, only he actually did get in fights with people and stuff like that over his temper. But explain to you a few things about me. I don't really have that problem anymore. I do to a point. I mean, just a little bit. Most of my problem now has to do with like anything electronics. Like if I'm working on something, like a few weeks ago, I was having problems on my computer getting, if you remember, the echo out of my videos. I could not figure out how to get the echo out of it. And I sat there and I messed with it for like 2.5, 3 hours until I finally figured out what was causing it. And I was about lost control completely. But I've found that when I do get that way, the best thing for me to do, because it slowly starts to build up. It doesn't happen all at once usually with me. It'll build up over time. So the best thing for me to do, and I've done this in the past, is to just say, okay, screw it. This isn't working today. I'll try again tomorrow. And I just leave it. I go back the next day and bam, get it done like that quick. So if you have a bad temper and it's slowly building up and you can feel it building up, that I think is the best thing to do. That helps me anyway. But yeah, I still don't know what I did to get that fixed, but I got it fixed finally. And there are some certain things, though, that will set me off, like, immediately. And one of them is when I'm eating, if I bite the side of my mouth or I bite my tongue. And I think I've talked about this once before. It'll just immediate rage. I was working at Walmart, and I was on my, it was actually before work. I went in and got a bag of popcorn and stuck it in the microwave in there, and I was sitting there eating the popcorn at the table, and there was a guy that I worked with sitting across the table from me. And I took a bite of the popcorn, and I bit the side of my mouth, and when I did, I jerked back, and he started to laugh. Set me off. Like immediately. I jumped up, threw the chair up against the wall, cleared the table, stormed out, just went outside to chill out for a few minutes before work. And then I was fine after that. But the thing is, I wasn't mad at him so much. I was just, I don't know, it makes you feel stupid, you know? You bite the side of your mouth and you give that jerk and then someone laughs. That just did it right there. That set me off. But if the shoe was on the other foot and he was eating the popcorn and he did it, I would have laughed too. So you got to think about it that way. My dad had a really, in fact, one more thing. That happened to me just like a couple months ago too. Sitting in a restaurant eating with my family. And the same thing. I bit the side of my mouth and jerked back. But I didn't lose control in the restaurant. I just did everything I could I pushed the plate away from me, just sat there for a few minutes and closed my eyes and said a few choice words under my breath, and then I calmed down. So it's still there. I think I can just control it when I really need to. But my dad used to have a bad temper too. He would hit inanimate objects. I remember one time I was probably in grade school and we were in the kitchen and he had opened the cupboard door in the kitchen to get something out of the cupboard, like a glass or something like that, and he left the cupboard door open and he dropped something on the floor and he bent over to pick it up and stood up and hit his head on the cupboard door. I swear he about took that cupboard door right off the hinges. He just started hitting it with his fist, and every time he'd hit it, it would close and open again, and it was like a punching bag. He just pop, 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 kept hitting it. And I cleared out of there. I got out of the room, and not because I was afraid he was going to hit me, because he never hit me. He kicked me in the butt a few times with the side of his foot, and that's all he ever did. But yeah, he would have never hit me. It's just I didn't want to get caught in the crossfire, in case something did go flying. But yeah, and my grandfather, my dad's father, had a really, really bad temper. My grandmother ended up having to pack his lunches in paper bags when he would go to work because he got mad at another employee in the lunchroom and got in a fight and took his one of those big metal lunch boxes that has a thermos in it and everything, took that and smacked the guy with it. So she started putting his lunches in paper bags so that he wouldn't hurt anyone, because he got in trouble for that. Another time that I lost my temper really bad, and I'll end it with this one. But another time that I lost my temper really bad, and I think I've told this story before too. I was working at a meat packing plant, and I was loading trucks. And the way they would do it is they had 4 doors. Door 1, 2, 3, and 4. They had 2 conveyor belts. One that would do doors 3 and 4, and one that was do doors 1 and 2. They would you could move them back and forth. They had 4 buttons on them. One of them moved it into the trailer. One of them moved him out of the trailer. One turned it on and one turned it off. There was also a switch on the outside in the back that you could just hit that lever and shut it off too. But you know those dock lights on loading docks that you turn the dock light inside the trailer? I was having a really stressful day. It was really hard. That was a really rough job. We would load like 500 cases of hamburger in like 45 minutes maximum. One person in the truck loading all those boxes of meat, which was like 80-pound average box of meat, and 2 people putting them on the conveyor belt. But I was the only one in the truck. And you'd have to throw a few boxes, then push the button to move the conveyor belt back, then throw a few more boxes, and try not to stop the belt, because if it got too heavy, the belt would stop. It would just stop moving. And then you're screwed, because the boxes are coming down the rollers and they just keep piling up end to end to end. And then you're in a lot of trouble. So I was having a really stressful day. Boxes were falling off the edge and everything. And I was just having a hard time. And I went walking out of the trailer, and I had my head down, my hard hat, and we used to take our earplugs and hook them to the back of our hard hat and stick them in our ears. And I was walking out of the trailer, and I hit that dock light, like right on the hard hat, and it knocked the hard hat off. Earplugs popped out of my ears, and I just completely lost control. I grabbed the dock light and hung on it and just ripped it right off the wall and threw it across the loading dock. And I looked upstairs, and the boss was sitting in the office. It was like a big glass office where the boss would sit and watch everything. And he was sitting right there watching me throw this fit. A few minutes later, I heard, "Gene, come up to the office, please," over the loudspeaker. So I went up there, and I ended up getting written up for it. I didn't get fired, believe it or not, but I got wrote up for destroying company property. One more time, and I would have been fired. But they never fired me. I ended up quitting there. But yeah, that was one time. I lost my temper a lot of times working at Walmart, to be honest with you. One time, this will be the last one. This was at Walmart, and I had actually just got off work, so I was off the clock. And I was walking out the door, and there was a guy that I knew that was there. He had hurt his knee, and so he was trying to get one of those electric carts going. I didn't like the guy. The guy was a total jerk. I used to see him at the gym all the time. Real jerk. And he was complaining that he couldn't get the electric cart going, the motorized cart. And so I stopped and I tried to help him a little bit. And he lost control and got mad. And he says, "Why don't you get someone who knows what the hell they're doing?" And I flipped. And I says, "You know what? I'm actually off the clock. I was just trying to be nice, trying to help you. But..." And I just turned and walked out. And he was just like, his eyes got all big and everything. Didn't say another word. But it made me feel so good. There are just some times when you just got to tell someone to... Anyways, another thing that I was thinking that I want you guys' opinion on, I'm thinking of starting a podcast. And I'd like to get some ideas on what you think I should do the podcast on. Should it be like strictly paranormal, or should it be something like my thing on here is I do whatever the hell I want. So I was thinking maybe something like, maybe I could title it something like Random Talk from a Regular Dude, and just talk about all kinds of stuff. And just use that catchphrase at the end, because I just do whatever the hell I want. Just talk about whatever, different stuff on the internet, talk about paranormal, talk about ghosts, talk about the supernatural, talk about horror movies, talk about just whatever the hell I want. Let me know in the comments down below what you think I should do the podcast on. And now, you want to hear a joke? I've been thinking of changing my Facebook name to Nobody. That way when somebody posts like crappy posts and I push like, it'll say, "Nobody likes this." Thank you, everybody. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hashtag Mean Gene, all that fun stuff. And if you like this video, tell all your friends, leave a comment down below. And if you didn't like it, then just shut up. And I will see you next time.